This is let me place it here. This is another great episode of Fire of Liberty. Not that it's about the episode or any of that. Some amazing, wonderful things that I'm really excited about which is really, really great about this land called America. We can live in a world where we can ultimately support people. What I mean by that is, wouldn't it be wonderful, not wouldn't it be wonderful like it's hypothetical, but the actual truth, the fact of the matter is that we now have actual 21st century solutions to wonderful, amazing ways to live. Absolute cures that are very, very quick. I mentioned this yesterday, and I really would love to be, well, not love to be, I'm actually excited and love to put this out. And of course it's many individuals that have put this together. Over the years, of course I couldn't have done it in just a short amount of time, but I'm trying to accelerate the knowledge of it at least, and of course I'm going to make it free. I'm making it free. One of the things is advanced medical technology, holographic regenerating med beds. This is already underway by Randy Kramer. You can look him up, Captain Randy Kramer. He's been doing this for 20 years. Just a little background. He's been with NILAB. Incredible, very hardworking, extremely hardworking military veteran. I think he's still in the military. He's been working with many different programs for many years, and he's been having to deal with long story short, bureaucratic nonsense for a very, very, very long time. He's incredibly courageous, and he's incredibly bold, and he's done wonderful things around the world, and done wonderful things to assist many human beings around the world. So, of course, it's a very great thing that he's done, and what he's involved with. One of the things he does, upon many other things, but one of the things he does is these holographic rejuvenating med beds, and I'll explain what those are. So basically, it's a hologram. What you can do. Let's digress into it, which is why I was so excited about HoloLens last year and was pushing it so hard, because there's tons and tons of applications towards it, especially when you're really intelligent, creative, innovative. You're really go-getter. You're just hardworking all the time, and you really just want to get stuff done. And you just love to do things with your hand, and love to do things with your mind. If you're just an active person, or if you just you're a creative person, or if you just want to do stuff with your mind or with your hands, or just like to work hard, for example. HoloLens is a great application to apply that energy towards. It is a great way to create your own apps, especially just off the ideas that you can have with HoloLens. There's so many wonderful so many possibilities, so many great applications that you can do, but that's not really the point. The point is, I digress. Of course, there's countless, and I talked about this last year too. There's countless applications towards HoloLens in terms of agriculture, architecture, and those apps have been made. Architectural apps that have to do with building architecture, and that's all fine and dandy. Of course, I want to add it to a more, for example, new material layout, new architecture, as in Crystal Cities, but I'm not going to get into that. I'm not. Of course, architecture is fascinating to me, and I would like to do new 22nd century, and I'm also working with, but never mind, I'm digressing. The point that I want to make is, the really exciting thing is medical. This medical application toward HoloLens. Of course, HoloLens already has the app that allows you to remote view, or to basically visualize. Sorry, wrong terminology there. Not remote view, but if you want to remote view, you can, of course, if you know how to do that. if you want to, view a human body or a particular organ of the human body, you can do that with one of the apps. However, one of the things that should be done, and that's being worked on in a sense, like as we speak. I mean, it's really fascinating. Of course, it's good to see the human body and then to see like a sketch, and it's kind of pixelated. But now imagine if you made it incredibly complex, as complex as down to the cellular level. So you have the epithelial, you have the cells, and you have the cells that make up the tissue, and then you have the tissue that makes up the organ, and then you have the organs together that make up the system, and then you have the entire system added with all the other systems of the body, then you make that human body. And so you have that fully laid out, that DNA code inside a hologram, and you can project that hologram on any part of the human body, or the entire human body. And you can basically use the very DNA structure that is there in existence to build upon the human body. And this is what's already been used in Mars, on Mars, for example. You can research that yourself. The research for that type of truth can be found so many sources. Off the top of my head, I'm going to mention it later towards this this live broadcast, but you can also find it Randy Kramer. You can find it if you look up. I mean, it's briefly talked about by Corey Goode. It's briefly talked about by... There's another man who's been on for 22 years, 23 years of service. And that's, that's the space program in general. It's about 22 years. It's a 20 and back. So they do 20 years, and then they come back, and then they regenerate themselves if they want to, get new families, get new memories, all that jazz. Of course, the technology is more advanced, and so that's one of the things that they have. And so what would be great is, of course, think about it. I'm just breaking it down very quickly and really condensing it, but this... if you have a missing limb, it can your body when the part where your cells are cut off, or where your arm is cut off, for example, and it doesn't grow anymore. It just doesn't grow. The cells think, oh, okay, I'm supposed to stop here. I'm not supposed to grow anymore. But if you have that layout of the that hologram of full actual DNA encoded, like truly fully encoded cells, well replicated hologram DNA of the DNA structure of cells, then your cells, as this, we know the cellular process works, and we have a permeable membrane, cell membrane, our cells think to continue to multiply and continue to create cells, and so that creates the rest of your arm. In a case, it can work for a finger, work for toes, and it works for any type of limb, and that's it actually is not a very long process at all. It doesn't, like for a full body, of course, that might take a bit longer. Maybe, it could be probably like an entire month or something like that. 3 weeks. So that could be a little bit longer full body, but the arms, that can be a matter of hours. Literally a amount of hours. Both arms, maybe a full day. Like all limbs, maybe 2 days, perhaps. Day and a half. It's very, very exciting, of course. One of the really exciting things about that as well is since, diseases such as cancer are so, in a sense, contained and not necessarily as complex to fix, it's quite easier to fix. Diseases like cancer, hormone imbalance, such as diabetes and all the hormone imbalanced diseases. I can just name a list of them, but some of the major ones are Alzheimer's, Crohn's disease, the other disease, Parkinson's. Those are even easier to cure than it is to regrow a limb. And it doesn't just do that. It regrows limbs, it maintains longevity, it increases your energy, increases your body function, increases your stamina level, and it even can reverse your aging. So, if you want to be, if like say you're 90 years old, if you want to be 30 years old again, you can just change your age back to that. And that's just really easy to do with this type of technology, which I'm going to make free. And so, why pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and spend tons and tons of money on chemotherapy and these diseases that are fatal, like leukemia, this is going to go towards the veterans first, of course, who have lost their limbs, and children and who have lost their limbs, and who have so-called incurable diseases. This is, one of the most wonderful things about the body's natural healing processes is that it has natural healing body processes. Our body is an energy being, and if we're not necessarily at that higher raised consciousness level, saying like, oh, my body's like I'm an energy body, so I can just grow it myself. Since we can't necessarily think that way yet, I'm not going to say restrict people in saying that they can't, because, of course think about it, there's people that can do that, that they can heal themselves quickly, they can cure themselves of diseases, and they can just do it instantaneously. Because it's all in your mind. Of course, your mind is unlimited, and I've mentioned that. I should mention that a little bit more. But yeah, your mind is unlimited, and that's what allows us to grow and expand, and then therefore pass on our. Anyway, I'm digressing again. The holographic rejuvenating med bed can be used for bodies or body parts. That's really one wonderful solution. The other one is really just, it doesn't necessarily correlate, but it does, is the energy concept. And this is fascinating. I've usually harped on it before, and I don't really harp on it actually that much. I should talk about it a little bit more. But crystal technology is a fascinating way to use... sorry, going back to the previous point. I'm just going to talk about this for just a little bit longer. I can kind of already hear every single excuse. I'm pretty sure I think I can hear it all. Every excuse, why we shouldn't do that, or why we're not ready yet, or why the 21st century should not have that type of equipment, or why people should be aware of that stuff. Hey, that was out 40 years ago, 50 years ago, okay? Just because this is something that, I want to bring out, and just because people have died unnecessarily because of this technology wasn't broad spectrum, due to the type of ridiculous stuff that goes on, instead, billions and billions and billions of dollars can be stolen from the previous presidency, not to bring up the past, but that billions of dollars have to be stolen from the previous presidency, when this type of technologies, which doesn't even cost billions and billions of dollars to create, could have been widespread around the world in less than a year. But anyway, I'm digressing. See, this criminal activity is just obviously just insane, but it's so easy to, because we have we're a sovereign country, we're a sovereign nation, built on sovereignty, that wants sovereignty, that loves prosperity, and we have a lot of good people that want to do that, and so that's a wonderful thing that's happening worldwide, and it's all of us. It's what makes us. That's what makes us great. That's what makes America great. It's making America great again. And that's one of the wonderful ways to do it. The amount of prosperity that's going to be generated from that is it's super crazy. That's going to be. First of all, you can look at history. The way that hospitals were developed was developed as a part of the culture because it was kind of necessary at the time. Same thing with the things that was going on during war. You had a lot of people that were working hard in hospitals, men and women. During during World War II, there's the hospitals were full. There's also dealing with shell shock and dealing with PTSD. And once again, it's amazing because that's the thing of the past. We have those amazing solutions to something like that. And there's no, ultimately at this stage, in 2017, there's no problem that can't be fixed. There's not a single problem that cannot be fixed. And it's just, and the stages of these, not necessarily stages, but just the effects of this wonderful technology is literally going to transform, of course, the way that we view health. So, and the way that we gain prosperity. The prosperity that's pretty much already underway and is going on right now, like as we speak, is the ability to, get, I'm really simplifying this, but as the ability to get healthcare that's incredibly efficient, incredibly low cost. I'm going to make it free. So let's just do it in my case, which is best case scenario. It's going to be whenever you want it, however you want it, as much as you want it. It's free in time, and you can, I mean, gosh, I'll probably just do I'm just thinking out loud here, but I'll probably do a few sessions a day just to kind of really bring the importance to those who need it most, meaning those who are those who need it really quickly, like those who have been through severe accidents or have severe diseases or who are, those and those who want it. Seriously, everybody wants it, most people would want it. And it's a new way to really keep your body healthy. We already spend tens of thousands of dollars a year. Well, that's maybe an exaggeration for the majority of the population, but we already spend thousands of dollars a year on things that we need to sustain our health. Food, workout routines, sometimes gym memberships, to supplements if we take those, to nutrition. This kind of stuff costs money, and you require to keep your body healthy to continue that healthy status that your body requires and that you want to work for. It takes your hard-earned cash to sustain your nutrition, and a large allotment of health goes towards goes towards that. So in a sense, you now save a lot of money because you bypass the amount of money you would normally spend on these nutritional items. Not that they're not good for you. As a matter of fact, you should keep taking them because your body, once again, goes on the next level after you're already able to rejuvenate it. So what this basically allows to do, you can end the degeneration process. So there's no degeneration, there's no illnesses, there isn't the breaking down of telomeres, none that occurs that is called aging. There isn't necessarily the the radiation that breaks us down, or the poison that breaks us down that's in the air if we don't filter it, in the water if we don't filter it, and of course with the technology that we have already, that's not a major issue, to be honest. I would say most people know about all these products and work towards it. But once again, this is a 21st century solution. We can do these things without much hassle, and it could be as easy as walking through TSA type of security clearance. That would be great. Instead of the metal detectors, I'm gonna work on that. Instead of the metal detectors and all that stuff that we have at the airport, we should have these rejuvenation HoloLenses. It has a human frame, and then you walk through it, and then all of a sudden you're healed. And then, you just walk into your next destination, fresh as new. That's how you get. That would cure the. Oh my goodness, that would totally cure the leprosy problem. That would totally cure the leprosy problem easily. It wouldn't be an issue at all, and you wouldn't have the worry about sickness at schools, and you wouldn't have to worry about your child getting sick at school, and you have to worry none of that at all. Oh, imagine that at schools. Schools would be the healthiest place to go to because you've got holographic rejuvenating med beds that are there. Probably even before you enter, that would probably be a thing. You can't enter the school without being absolutely rejuvenated. Not that I want to limit all that. It's you must be super healthy or you can't go into this establishment. That's kind of ridiculous. That's insane. That's like saying, if you don't eat 2 carrots a week, you're not allowed into this establishment, or you're not allowed into this restaurant. That's actually that's pretty laughable. But seriously, of course, this isn't necessarily a laughing matter. I mean, of course, diseases are a very serious issue, which is why this solution is so extraordinary. The other thing is that, once again, this solves many, many issues that the control mongers, that globalists, that elitists have tried to do for so long. I mean, the CDC is trying to turn the wheel over to vaccines, and when the solution, which is way better than the vaccines, has existed for decades. Decades and decades and decades. And so this is something that if the CDC is so caring about keeping their type of corporation, they should really look into the type of rejuvenating generational technologies that exist instead of making these not as efficient vaccines. I mean, I say not as efficient because most of them are known to carry cancer viruses and have negative effects on many human beings throughout history. I mean, like recent history. I mean, polio vaccine, Gardasil, into other countries too. Into Mexico, they were doing Gardasil. Central America, I believe it was in South America. I'm sorry, don't quote me on that. I need to really look up this research at the same time. I'm doing multiple things while I'm speaking. You should really just sit down. This is really, really. I love to do multiple things at once. This is really, really key because, I mean, come on, all that history is more than enough evidence. The amount of money that goes into vaccines, the amount of money that goes into trial and error cases when you just start at the DNA level and you cure the whole thing. I mean, that's so simple, it's so straightforward. Literally every excuse that's been made fails. It fails miserably. I agree. Okay, I agree. Vaccines were great for a very long time because that was a major medical step. Okay, now let's go to the next level. Let's make America great. How do you become great? By making the people great. How do you make the people great? By starting at one of the greatest and most important resources, which is your health. We have to, start at the simple basics, which is, human health. It's not that difficult to heal, and it's a very important issue. And that's exactly why so many globalists focus so hard on destroying the human health and dumbing down human beings because Monsanto, Obamacare, that whole desire for it to be fed into major corporations, that worked for the American people, of course. But, of course, most of... I'm just going to... shot in the dark, but, most of humanity is not out to get you. I mean, most people in humanity... Most people are good. Well, I think really positively. But that's honestly, people can live so greatly. The amount of change that, like, an experience of somebody had, for example, change their entire life. You know, they have a new perspective. They think, this was a life changing moment in my life. You know, I want to go in another direction, for example, or I want to get better. And you know, that's those miraculous miracles. It's not just important for that one person, but it impacts so many other people's lives. This one little impact is just such a beautiful transition, not just for America, but for the entire way that we view prosperity and growth. And this is not just about, you know, today, and this is about our future generations and their generations and their generations. This is, I mean, it's. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard because people still think that we don't have people that have been to Mars. I mean, there's still people that think it's not possible to have space travel or to travel faster than the speed of light. I mean, I'm telling the truth here. This is all based off of research, based of things I've researched and have double checked and triple checked and fact checked and I've. I don't know. I think integrity. I'm not getting disheartened, but I think integrity is an important thing. When I say these things and I get questioned, there's just so many different sources that I try to think of, like on the spot. Okay. So what do I have to say to prove that there's the USS Hillenkoetter, part of Solar Warden, or what can I do to explain the stories of exactly the type of indigenous species that lives on Mars, or how do I describe that there's water on Mars, or how do I describe that the Earth is hollow, and how do I describe the Agarthan civilization, and how do I describe Shambhala? How do I, you know, I know it's not easy, but no, actually that's not true. I know it's very easy because I'm completely fully prepared for doing this, and that's why I do this stuff anyway. It's not about me. Of course, it's about, you know, our great-grandchildren, our great-great-grandchildren, and our great-great-great-grandchildren. Of course, we started thinking about that, I assume, at a young age. So, how do you do that? Longevity is the start. You know, you stop killing people. That's why I don't like people that kill people. I mean, not that I don't like people that kill people, but it's just when you. It's just something that I would say most human beings don't have in their mind. You know, most human beings don't think to go kill other people. So, just with that kind of obvious ideology, you just stop that process. And what's the globalist plan to do? Is divide and conquer, which is why, of course, not to bring it back up, which is why actually, it is important to bring it up, which is why, you know, of course it was terrible, all the stuff that George Soros did, but they have to realize that they're just playing into an actual force of prosperity and you know, I mean, they're really, really messing with the Spirit of God, you know? They're messing with God. And you can't, I can just be honest, I mean, we can be honest when we can say, you know, when we ask for God for protection, for divine providence, and when we truly believe in Him, of course, and, you know, God bless America, and the wonderful, beautiful thing about this opportunity, is that, of course, it goes beyond. So. Amazingly beautiful that I just want to thank God for still being alive and to be able to still work or as in work, just experience life, of course, but to be able to have this opportunity to pass on this legacy to the future generations. And one of the major and wonderful things that it starts with is health. So that's going to be a wonderful, massive, beautiful change, and that we're all, in a sense, a part of. Because it not only solves the previous solutions of health, but it solves the future solutions for health. And then, the creativity, imagination of the younger generations are just going to add on to that. And just going to build so much prosperity that it's just going to be, I'm making arm motions right now, but it's just going to be a literal endless flow of wealth, of just goodness and just beauty and just magnificence. Just like the Renaissance. Just like how ideas kind of rolled off of other ideas. The architecture and the Renaissance men of those time just built more things and built things, and of course it originated, like a tweet I posted not too long ago, but not to dwell on the past. But it originated from these brilliant people, of course, with this brilliant way to view life, and then it was attractive, and then then artwork built of those ideas and were moved over to France, resonated to other countries, and then they have great works of art, and then you create museums, then you create tourist attractions, and then these attractions create reasons to go to countries, and then these countries become attractive and become enticing, and then people want to go there. That's a very simply broke down reason why, for example, people want to go to certain states, and people want to go to Americas, and people want to travel, and people want to, because there's great things that are attractive, and that's what brings prosperity. That's what brings investment. That's what brings, in a sense, basically the sense of community, of home, and eventually, and basically not eventually because it's already here, and civilization. With all that in mind, you can advance it, and then you advance it by building upon the wonderful Renaissance that's already in existence. And I love using the term Renaissance because it literally is the desire to create this massive, never-ending prosperity based off the brilliance of the ideas and the inventors and the creation that made it that way in the first place. And to create it into a positive and prosperous result, which amplifies and it grows and multiplies like cells. The human body is very regenerative, and a lot of analogies can be applied to it. The way that, for example, Americans' prosperity is going to bloom is that we have so many different cells, as in blood cells, for example, that pass around oxygen, energy, water, and remove waste from every single part of the body. That goes to the brain, down to the kidneys, down to the over to the liver, through the heart. I mean, that's actually not exactly how the circulatory system works, I think. Pretty sure it does, from the lungs to the liver. Oh my goodness, I need to research that again. I used to be crazy on physiology. I knew everything about it. I knew every bone, knew every cell, knew every... But that was it's back in high school. I still know it, but I'm not gonna waste airtime on that. But of course, the human body is a great analogy for exactly how we redistribute wealth throughout the entire America, and throughout the world, because we're so prosperous that it not only brings attraction into this country, which is why there's what a great example. There's so many businesses coming back. They're bringing their companies back into America. Mitsubishi to Apple to you name it. There's lots and lots coming in. Many great individuals do a great job breaking that down. They're everywhere. It's not only the individual and the American worker and the American and Americana, but it's the small business owners. It's the big business owners. It's the real estate agents. It's the dentists. It's the doctors. It's the independent media sources. It's the real media sources now, such as Alex Jones and Michael Savage and Breitbart and even the sources that are outside of that. I mean, not outside of that, but have the mentality. What's key that they bring it up is the mentality, in a sense, of just wanting to support freedom, wanting to support America, wanting to support truth, and that active desire for journalism. That was very attractive. I mean, I had a journalism phase, but once again, I digress. I'm a little bit of a Renaissance man myself. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it. Where was that? Oh, so that's how prosperity is generated throughout and that's why it's not necessarily a big issue. It's not a really big issue, but it's still a major issue. Like there's still some corrupt parts of the world, and there's some very good reasons to have immigration. There's very, very good reasons to have borders. Let me explain that, because that's what makes a country. It's also important that we have not the destruction of language. And these are my words, but they're not my words, all right? Because, once again, of course, all ideas pass through us. And I would love to say, oh, I thought of this, I'm so brilliant. No, I believe these are more Alex Jones's words than Michael Savage's words. But, in a sense, it kind of brings back to common sense. Borders, language, and culture is what makes a country. And so that's why it's key to have borders. I'm not going to hype on that because they explain it very well. They're very good at it. They're professionals. They've been doing it for as long as I've been alive. And which is why I get bound into this fight, into this desire to support freedom and democracy around the world, and to really care about the growth of America and putting every ounce I got. But I digress. What I mentioned there was the fact that when you create, which is what we have right now, and which is going to be even bigger, because think about this. This time that we're going in is so key, because when we face all these challenges that we have, which are wondrous, when we conquer when we go through to the other side, we're going to be able to easily solve any type of situation that arises ultimately. And they're going to be grander. But it's at the same time, like I explained before, they parallel, not parallel, they parallel, but they inscribe kind of like the easy avenue to go down, if that makes sense. Like it's very clear. Like once you climbed a mountain, like once you bike like for a very long period of time, and then you realize the rest of the trip is easy coasting, even though it actually is a big incline, but it wasn't as hard as the previous 2, 3, 4, 5 days of mountain biking that you did before. It's amazing how simple it seems, even though some type of endurance expenditure like that should be draining, and your stamina should be draining. It's like your body and your mind is in the mindset of being stronger and wanting to do better. That's why it's so key that I bring back to the medical health. Once you get like most of America healthy, oh my goodness, we are just so enticed for liberty. So that's why it's so exciting to work for it, because it's just so wondrous at the other side. It's going to be that much worth the reward when we work our butts off for it now. Which is really key, which is what we do all the time. Also, a very important thing is the crystal clear clarity that's provided by the obvious, wonderful technological transitions, Renaissance and mystical transitions that we're going through. Provide such a level of advancement to the majority and to all of humanity that it's literally impossible. I should be careful when I use the word impossible, but I really do mean that, because I do believe that this wonderful start of something that we wanted for so long, like we the people, actual constitutional support, justice. That's happening. It's happening at a faster rate, and it's making countries safer, it's making cities safer, it's making people feel more comfortable, and and it's all around a wondrous, tremendous effect. Cause and effect. It's amazing. The other thing is, now that we can, in a sense, continue to add these brilliant wonderful, for example, technology such as the medical bed. It paves the way for the opening of the mind. Excuse me. It paves the way for the opening of the mind. And so when you think, oh, you know what? If this type of technology came from Mars, then maybe I'd be willing to consider some other type of technologies that came from other places. I mean, I still want to see evidence for it. I'm not making fun of people. I'm just saying that, of course, the world's bigger than just, the solar system's bigger than just Earth. So let's, of course, think bigger thoughts here. I mean that in an encouragingly nice way. Because, of course, we're going to go to the stars, and not going to go to the stars. We already have the capability to go to the stars. We're just going to make it known. It's kind of like the lot of stuff that's going on out in the news world right now. Kind of like, oh, I didn't know, or let's just give a load of examples, because these are great parallels that give the window view into what actually is the real world. Because it's literally, it's just basically bringing freedom. The exact type of thing that happened during Reagan's time and Nixon, it's like, and what Roger Stone did at that time, he was a major part of that, is the same thing what is so key in what's happening now. And with Roger Stone clearly breaking it down from his expertise in that time, it's amazing. So what is awesome about this is now this accelerated spring forward, basically, into, hey, what do you know, spring. No pun intended. And this wonderful spring forward to is window view. Are we just gonna like, oh, let's just look out the window and you know, or you know, actually, here's the thing: we're in mid leap, and we can continue flying forward and spread our wings and fly, or we can do something that's just as great and it's just as cool. You know, I'm not gonna degrade this at all. You squat and you get ready to spring your legs, and then you just fly at the speed of light. And I mean that literally. So, let me go back to the examples so I can, not to, you know, hold us back or anything, but to kind of really build the bridges solidly and to explain the reasons of how we literally go and travel at the speed of light with the spring that we do, or we can just spread our wings and fly. All the flack that, and it wasn't just Alex Jones alone, but all the flack that we get from the stuff that's already been revealed in Vault 7, all that stuff is like, oh, this is watching you, that's watching you. This they're gonna come out. And it's obviously in the books that are written, globalist written books. It's been written to control you, or not written to control you, but it's an agenda, you know, Agenda 21, to build all these types of systems, control systems, which have been there. You know, this invasion of privacy shouldn't be used on the American people, but it's widespread and it's known everywhere. I mean, there's microphones and cameras, and it's really advanced technology that's, you know, basically, oh, wonderful, great parallel. It's advanced technology that's existed in certain parts of implementation of the government for decades that we didn't necessarily know about. And why we didn't know about it is because fake stream media and corporate run media and just excuse me, my butt ton of names, just the liar media, they're criminal media, whatever. There's a lot of names for them, but the media sources were really trying to reverse the points. I mean, this is past history now, but it's important to break down. They were saying, okay, no, this doesn't exist, that's crazy. And then they tie a name to it, which is, I think, scapegoating. There's a word for it. Strongman? Yeah. Or hypocritical, appeal to hypocrisy. They tie a falsitude to it or something like that. You know, they say, oh, there's no way that's not true. That's absolutely not true. It's just too crazy to exist. And then when it finds out, oh, they deny it, and they deny it. And then they find out and say, oh, okay, well, it doesn't exist, but it's not that sophisticated. It's not that big. Okay, well, it does exist, but it doesn't happen to you. Okay, it does exist, but it's not a big deal. Okay, it does exist, and everybody has it, and it should be okay, right? Okay, maybe it is an infringement upon your liberty. Okay, maybe it was against the U.S. Constitution. Okay, maybe it was against the U.S. Constitution a long time ago. Okay, maybe we should see this. What I'm basically saying, break it down, is that type of stuff shouldn't be going on. Because it's, of course, it's been revealed and trying to be broken down, and ultimately there's no surprise, so you can't lie about it now anymore. Mainstream media. Fake stream media. I digress. Another parallel is GMOs, poisons. It's been added to a lot of things, and then now it's revealed and known. Another breakdown. Air poisons, of course, chemtrails, all that jazz has been broken down, and now it's known. Another thing is energy. I mean, Nikola Tesla had a bunch of things, and he made many other inventors had patents that they made and all that jazz, and it's been classified illegally or taken or stolen or all that jazz. Just hasn't been released to the public because it's been trying to be kept secret. It's just, you know, major monopolies had tried to run their monopolistic corporation here and then seize power and political power and structures and protecting their companies, corporations, with these, with these bought and paid for insurgents into parts of the government. That's how they made the EU was going on. That's how how the EU was formed. I mean, you can research that. Alex Jones broke that down pretty well, and many other people. It's not just him, of course. Former military veterans and military and civilians have broke that down. Have gone there, been there, witnessed it, experienced it. I mean, the amount of evidence for that is limitless. The other thing is, what's the other thing? Corporations. I was talking about Monsanto food. So I just talked about the other ones. Technology, transportation. I'm okay. Those are the analogies that I give. All right, those are real analogies that people didn't believe for so long, and now they realize, okay, this sucks. We don't like it. We want to be free, and that's why you see this awakening around the world. It doesn't stop there. Okay, now that's what's so exciting about this. On every single parallel that I just mentioned, it goes further. This is how you can either plant your feet and jump to the stars, or just while you're in midair, just jump into the stars. And that's why it's a win-win, and that's how victory is in the sense of inevitable, because you can't hide the truth, you can't cover it with lies, and you can't disinformation doesn't work, especially when you know how to break it down, as well as, for example, Roger Stone, Michael Savage, Alex Jones, David Knight, Leanne McAdoo, Paul Joseph Watson, many people in the military, veterans, children, teens, kids, toddlers even. I mean, once again, the American people are, I mean, it's just a known fact. We are, I'm even going to say, I'm going to even go far, we're no longer just all smart and brilliant and very keyed into intuition. We're just geniuses, brilliant. I mean, and I don't mean that to downplay people. I mean that in the most greatest way possible. We are, think about it, we're the cream of the crop. We are the best of the best. We are, we're not perfect, but it's amazing how brilliant we work together, as a family, as this community, states, this whole wonderful thing, how the power goes back to the people, and how people are involved in promoting the prosperity, and already the stock market's up, and already tons of jobs are coming back, and it's just going to get better and better and better. So this is how you, not going to say this is the only way. This is just an avenue to express yourself in more abundant ways, and this is for everybody to know. And this is, once again, this is going to be common knowledge, because it kind of already is common knowledge, but I'll help give you sources to look them up, or I'll give you the links, I'll give you the clues. I mean, I talked about this on many previous episodes, but anyway, I digress. So, HollowEarth.org gives a lot of information, or the book Messages from Hollow Earth breaks down very clearly about what crystal technology is, like the technology that exists in those cities. Not just the cities itself, but the culture. It talks about the culture, it talks about the families, the schools, the people there. They're crystal cities, they're made out of crystal. Massive, huge plants, plant life that grows for hundreds of years, hundreds of thousands of years. And the type of food that they eat, which is just magnificently, amazingly big and good for you and tasty, and it's unlike anything we've ever tasted before. I mean, the grapes are so psycho. I always use this analogy, the grapes, but the grapes, there's no word to describe the grapes. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about it, in a sense. Oh, that's kind of cool. You don't have to say, oh, this is what it tastes like. Huh, that's kind of cool. Anyway, apples the size of your head, oranges that are just as big. Apples and oranges, see what I did there? Bananas, kiwis, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, carrots, legumes, vegetables. I mean, these things are massive. Absolutely massive. I mean, some of them the size of people. I mean, they grow because Mother Earth helps, or naturally grows them. And because the hydroponics and the type of gardening system, in a sense, the agriculture that they do, which actually everybody is involved in, they just do that a few hours a day. Oh, their workday, they've really broken it down. Their workday is only like a few hours a day. Everybody only works a few hours a day, and the rest of the day they just play. And they have so much energy that they only need 1 hour of sleep, 2 hours of sleep, maybe. They usually don't even need sleep. So, well, I mean, it's such an exciting time we live in. We don't really need that much sleep, which also makes it really cool. Because anyway, we're not really thinking about sleep that much. I couldn't sleep when I really. Anyway, I digress. The fruit there is huge and very good for you. Soy products that they can make out of anything you want to taste. Any type of product, whether it's chicken, duck, lamb, pig. They don't have to kill the animal. They make it so big and so beautiful and so succulent and so delicious. It's not even more, and tastes just like it, but more delicious. And you can add more flavors. You can make it taste like a turkey, chicken, duck, ham if you want, or chicken, ham, frog, shark if you want it, or or salmon platypus, chicken egg, or whatever. Whatever you want it to make it. And that's the other thing. Replicators. Replicators, basically, there's already the technology, precursor engineering. I mentioned that before. I'll break it down. Excuse me. Because you make something out of nothing. I need to filter the air. You know what? I'm going to put on my... Oh, it's because the fan's on it. I'm cleaning, in case you didn't notice, but I put on this fan, or this mask. I don't know if you can hear me that well. You probably can. I'm going to take it off soon, but oh, that's so much better. I'm going to do a little bit of plugging. I actually like this very much. Very good for workouts. But this is the mask. RZ mask, breathable mask from InfoWarsLife.com. And it allows you to breathe very well and easy while you're exercising. Or at least in my opinion, it allows you to breathe well and easy during exercising. And it allows you to, deal with cleaning in harsh work environments or working construction. Whether it's bad smells or anything like that, it filters your air very easily. So the other thing is that's wonderful about just this product is, it kind of looks cool, but I don't. I actually wear it when I clean, so that way I don't have to ingest the harsh. I don't have to ingest the harsh fumes, and like bleach or in cleaning products, stuff like that. So here's lots of uses. So lots to use it for. Oh my god, I didn't even turn off the fan yet. Anyway, it has lots and lots of uses. I use it a lot. I like it. The other wonderful thing is, hold on. All right, that was probably the most terrible plug. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But to summarize, I just described the RZ mask. Breathe safe. It's a great mask. And you can find it at Infowars.com. The website is www.rzmask.com, or you can find it at InfowarsLife.com. Excuse me, InfowarsStore.com. And then definitely check out those products. They're really high quality, and I like them. I enjoy them. So I like having the best of the best, and it's of course a double win. You fund the Infowar, and well, you fund and support freedom and democracy around the world, and of course it's key. What they've done and the boldness that they have is, I don't know. It's great to find, and I'm digressing here, but it's great to find that type of spirit that's just everywhere, and of course, it's the listener. It's you, it's really all of us together. This, and we're so dedicated, and it really means a lot. So the other thing is, I was digressing. I'm cleaning right now, so I'll have to clean. Making it a parallel. I'm cleaning house. The wonderful thing about actually being able to use these or know about these technologies is that you can ask about it. It's that simple. You literally just ask about it, and you will get the answer. And because it can't really be hidden anymore, and it goes. Oh, I was talking about Agartha, and then I also mentioned. Actually, I was specifically talking about Shambhala, but hydroponic gardens also exist in what's it called? It also exists in Telos. Telos is one of the cities that's a part of the Agartha network. You can read this all on. I think you can read some a little bit about it in newearth.com. Admiral Byrd flew there in 46, 47, I believe. I think he flew there multiple times. You can research that. But also be careful, there's a lot of disinformation, which is why I should just give you the real source. You can find it in Messages from the Hollow Earth. He has a diary that he wrote about it. And it's in that diary. Very, very interesting read. I think everybody should be aware of that. And at least know that it exists. And know that the Pentagon knew about it back in the 40s and still hasn't brought it out yet. I don't know what's up with that there. That really needs to be put out. I mean, seriously, come on. Put that out there. And that's also what I love to do. That's part of my job, I guess. But I do that all the time. Anyway, I digress. It's not about me. It's about the future generations and unity of peace and prosperity, which is obviously possible. Now that we, have this greater insight. Oh, wait a second. If we just had that, well, then we can just do that. It's that simple. It's like, oh, well, if you just carpool, well, then we don't have to take more than one car. It's not like a bad thought. Like, oh, why would we want to get in your car when it's small? And I mean, you can't make up excuses anymore. Not that I'm saying that that's an excuse, but I'm just saying that, I mean, carpooling is a very efficient way to travel. Oh, that just blew my mind there. I just got an epiphany. Carpooling is a very efficient way to travel, and it's now it's a common form of transportation that actually has its own lane to use in, and that lane is protected by a law and a fine. Not that laws and fines are built off of lanes from an idea, because that can get a little chaotic. Like the freaking stupid a rule against. Sorry, I'm digressing here, but this is so important. That stupid rule in that stupid law in Germany, that stupid fine, the 500 or 53. Oh, that's ridiculous. Anyway, gosh, that. Sorry, I really don't like that. It's bizarre. But anyway, what was I talking about? The form of transportation is what I was going to talk about next. And what I was talking a little bit about before is, since we know these, we can connect the dots to create peace on Earth a lot faster, and there really won't be any violence, or any violence calling, because the other positive side is so awesome that it just makes you. It's just really cool, you know. It's very exciting. I'm very careful how I speak, dude. I don't like saying. I don't really like bringing people down, because then it can be turned against me. Like, oh, this guy said that. Oh, since we don't know about this other advanced civilization that's very peaceful, and have been waiting for us to end wars and denounce wars, stop the wars, so that we can unite the entire planet of wonderful peace. It's gonna turn back on him because he said it was the wrong thing, and I'm really just describing what was already out there and saying that, you know, when we. No, for example, I mean, it's already underway. The ambassador is coming to New York City, Garden City, in August. So, and that'll be wonderful opportunity. And I'm not even downplaying that. I'm really excited about that. Transportation, which I'm very excited about. This is actually going faster than the speed of light, and this has been done. So let me break down these parallels. Which should be revealed. I mean, I don't know why they're not talked about. I mean, it was mentioned. You know, we have the ability to go to space, which we do. But why don't I see anything like that? And that's what annoys me, honestly, the most. Because these problems aren't major problems when you know. Sorry, I didn't mean to get frustrated. I should calm down. These problems aren't really problems when you know that all the solutions have already existed and already do exist. And, you know, of course we are actually a very big part of that. And it requires we the people, not just me, Christopher Bowen, to say, this is how it should be. But kind of the awakening of the majority is important. Not majority, but the awakening of all human people kind of understanding that human liberty is very key. We can be free a lot faster, a lot quicker. And it's something that, in a sense, we won't necessarily disagree with. It'll be difficult to disagree with. So, like, how do you disagree? I mean, and this is a very good point. Like, how do you disagree? I should frame it a different way. Secret space programs, they've been going on for a long time. They're not secret. Okay, not secret space programs, because they'll be like, oh, what if that has been happening? What I mean to say is, the USS Helen Colger, and I believe the Curtis LeMay? I think that's how you pronounce it. Curtis LeMay. Those are very key ships. They're a little bit smaller than an aircraft carrier, but they're capable of space travel. William Tompkins describes that very much. Describes the fleets. Describes there's many scout ships and larger ships. And they patrol galaxy. I think they patrol the galaxy. Don't quote me on that. They patrol the solar system, I know that for certain. They patrol Earth, I know that for a fact. If you want to research that, you can actually probably just look up solar warden, type it in, SOALAR. I mean, many people might not be interested in that. Like, they just care about their families and want to stay here and live and live here on Earth. I'm fine with that, but I mean, if you want to have safer, here's how I view it. Just to kind of put it out there, if you want to have safer transportation, if you want to not have to pay for insurance, if you want to not have to go through that entire process, excuse me, of going to driver's school, waiting in the line for a driver's license at the DMV, getting a car, paying for it after you pay for it, and down payments or the monthly payments and all that. Get a car loan. I'm not downplaying cars, but I'm just trying to explain the process. Getting cars, which is a very exciting process. I mean, I like it. I went through it. Of course, that's a beautiful, awesome rite of passage that we have. Oh my goodness, it's one of the coolest ones. Trust me, dude, I did everything. Oh my god, dude. I did everything. Man, good times. I have no regrets, too. That's the one thing I can say about that. I have none. And I never crashed it. I'm a great driver. I never crashed my car. I still have it. I mean, I don't have it now because it's in another state, but anyway, I digress. It's a beautiful rite of passage, and I love it. It's great. I think everybody should go through it, to be honest. Even though it may have its ups and downs and, these got hazards, but I love it. I mean, I gotta say I love it. I'm not gonna lie. It was great. But it's for me personally, and this is a very, very rare case. I'm a very rare case. I found out that it's like when you find out that there's GMO in your food or that there's fluoride in your water. When you find out about that, you're kind of like, oh, I've been drinking fluoride water for so long. Not that anybody drinks fluoride water anymore, but just an example. It's like, I mean, I still love cars. I mean, but at the same time, I'm just explaining how do you say this is the grandest form of transportation? Not that it's about being grand or anything, but there has been the ability to go to the stars for decades and decades and decades and decades. And I'm only saying the bad points, not saying that everything about it is bad, because people's gonna say, "Oh, you're anti-car. You must be against all cars." And why do you? Cause I've been told that before. "Oh, you're anti-car. Oh, you don't like driving cars. Oh, you don't drive cars anymore. Oh, what's up with that?" I mean, it's kind of a common sense thing. These common sense things are kind of, in a sense, how you wake up at a faster rate. Why would I get a car and why can't I buy something? And that's the other thing. It's not on the major mass market. You can't just go to a spaceship dealership yet. I'm working on that. I'm gonna make it free first. Probably tours for free, and then I'm gonna just make it free. Transportation in general free. But I really should just jump to the general transportation free. But anyway, and that's actually really easy to do. But I digress. The transportation, space travel should be for something that everybody should have, and it's why would I have, if there's a safer form of travel that uses basically anti-gravity and masslessness, it basically, there's a field that you put around, just breaking it down super quickly, there's a field that you put around, this is the other thing, science hasn't been broke down, but that's at the same time we are all a part of this, and I digress some more. Science is a huge part of what has been kept secret, and one of the things is massless objects. You reduce the mass of an object. It's not anti-gravity, you just reduce the mass. You can reduce the mass 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 99%. And then you just add propulsion to that, and that's how things go super fast. And that's how you're able to go faster than the speed of light. Or you can put a field around, for example, electromagnetic field, and you glide upon that electromagnetic upon that electromagnetic shell that's all around you, and then you just move through space-time. You basically move through space-time without any resistance. There's no resistance at all. So you just slip through, and that's what leads into transdimensional travel and interdimensional travel, which is how you travel from one part of the galaxy to the next without traveling, traveling way faster than the speed of light. Because if you already travel at the speed of light, it's still going to take a heck of a long time to get to the other side of the galaxy. So that's basically transdimensional travel. And once again, that's basically how you fly instead of while you're in midair, and that's kind of what's happening on. That's a great analogy. We're in midair and we're flying straight into upwards and onwards, and that's how you do it. Probably evidence needs to be backed up for this, so you can check out Corey Goode does a good job explaining it if you want to find out the evidence and the research and the experience and the interviews and all that jazz. William Tompkins made it. He was involved. Admiral Botta, excuse me, I might be butchering his name, but Botta, he's been involved in oh, goodness gracious. It's declassified. I'm pretty sure it's just called the space program since a very long time ago. 40s, I want to say, 50s. I think it was the 40s period, 30s, maybe early or late 30s. They were involved in that for a very long time. Or he was involved. I mean, he was originally, I think, a rear admiral. Then he became vice, then became admiral, and he did a bunch of stuff during that time. Not to downplay it, but to actually describe how key that was. And of course, just like how key it is that all these wonderful major individuals all around the world are doing these wonderful things wonderfully at this time. The other thing is the fact of the matter that these technologies have been used and are being used, for example, to travel to and forth from Mars, from the moons, I there's an interview that Corey Goode did about the, it was a great interview. It was a mind-blowing interview. I found out about this last year. It was kind of hard to wrap my head around at first because it was just so next level. But I was like, gosh, I can't believe this is happening. But it makes sense. It really, really makes sense. But anyway, it blew my mind. And I talked about it and dude, I trust me, I gave my all to this, but now I'm a broadcaster and now I'm explaining it. Yay! So I'm gonna blow your guys' minds. Some of the new listeners, oh my goodness. Anyway, he basically went on a spaceship, landed on a spaceport on Mars. He, wasn't supposed to mention his name and say he's from Earth, but he did. And so they were walking through the corridor. They were gonna show him all these different parts of the station he was at. Basically, it had different parts. I want to say little cities, areas. Oh, dude, I hope I described that right. But it's he basically traveled, and then they kind of asked him where he's from, and then he said Texas, or he said USA. No, I think he said California. I mean, I think he said Earth. And then there was a gasp, and then people started running. And then he got a look from someone else who was with him, who was also from Earth, who told him not to say that he was from Earth, but he said it anyway, because it was kind of just a slip, like you just told the truth, and it just blew their minds. It basically figuratively blew their minds, because they were apparently told that they were the only ones left of the Earth civilization. They had to start over and all that jazz. I mean, whatever. That was ages ago too. So anyway, interesting story or interesting event that happened. But I digress. Of course, there's a lot more to that. There's a lot more to it. So they continue on. He goes to an area where well, okay, so his main job, I think, is to talk about the. I don't remember. I do remember, but I want to get to the main point, which is what I think was really key. There's basically an auction that was going on, like a trading thing that was going on that happened on Mars, and that it's like everybody had to go watch it. Like they all left their areas that they were staying in, which I mean they were watching. Now they're watching this auction at that time of technologies of craft and it's basically it was so good the level of this technology and these spaceships that other civilizations, well over 900 different civilizations, like or different species, different extraterrestrials, not even necessarily even from this galaxy, were coming to buy them. We're coming to barter for them, or whatever form of monetary. I mean, who knows? But we're coming to barter them. I mean, it's in the interview. You can watch the interview, but I'm really just breaking it down. Some of the key parts. I mean, there's a lot of key parts, but I mean, wow. It's so like they actually have these spaceships being sold from an institution with people watching this going on to different extraterrestrial races, not even from this galaxy, with type of technologies that are better than those extraterrestrial aliens technologies, so good that they barter for our stuff. Now, what in the world could they be getting that is so good and that we know nothing about it? That this is actually going on and has been going on for decades, and yet it's just like why aren't we not even a part of this? Like space travel technology, 900, well over 900 extraterrestrial civilizations. Like most of planet Earth doesn't even believe in extraterrestrials. All right, because it's so hard to find. It's not even that hard to find truth on it, but because it's so, I don't know, taboo. What, name an excuse, all right? It's something that is, it's so been so this and so named pointed for so long because it's been trying to be kept hidden since the 30s, since the 20s, and I can go into the history about that later, but anyway, actually, I probably should go into the history. But anyway, I was mind-blown about that, and I told people about that, and it took a long time. But, I think, obviously, we realized how we've been manipulated, starting with Vault 9, Vault 7, so obviously, we can believe this now. We should be ready. The American public should be ready. The American public can handle the truth. So, that's what we can handle the truth, clearly. So, that's going on. We've been able to travel faster than the speed of light, but it does not belong to the American people. No, it's not for you. All right. Apparently, it's ridiculous. It's preposterous. It should be for everybody, and that's what I'm working on. And I'm making it free. I'm not gonna make you pay a freaking cent for it. Screw that. They're gonna. Anyway, but I'm digressing. The main point is that, of course, this is huge. This is big. When you find out, for example, that this stuff is going on, there's like an organic response. For the same reason that there's an organic response when you find out that there's cancer viruses or cancer cells in the certain vaccines. It's just stuff like that. It's kind of like, wow, like whoa, like this is. There's no way this is happening, and it's like, yeah, it's happening. It's been written, it's been interviewed, it's been declassified. Tons and tons of, well, not tons. Let me use the right phrasing. Millions, or maybe not millions, but thousands of people. No, probably millions, because most of them just been killed off because this is so high level, and they're like, this is so corrupt. I got to tell people, and anyway, dude, so many people have died from this information that I know, and it's not that I'm bragging, like, oh, I'm just saying, like, this is really for some reason, what the Ilya killed over. I mean, maybe not that particular instance of what I just described with Mars bases. You can research a lot about that, but it's basically. I mean, there's bases there, and they've been there. I went on a huge tangent about bases. Oh, well, what I really mean to say, I guess, is that transportation technology is basically going to be released to the major public, which is great, and I'm doing it for free, and it's faster than speed of light travel, and that's one of our birthrights, is to really explore the entire galaxy and other galaxies, and really explore the amount of life that really exists out there. And we can create a wonderful foundation here, and just use those transportations, for example, to go from to and fro here on planet Earth. And those are massless objects. That's what I was talking about. Massless objects is wonderful. Can have many, many uses. I mean, agricultural uses, architectural uses, interior designing uses, just everyday household activity uses, transportation uses, obviously. It has countless applications to many tools for research purposes, for any type of really use of what you could possibly use your innovation skills, inventive skills, and imagination skills to be applied to. I mean, it's just simple tools like the cotton gin and like the scythe. Not that I'm encouraging what was used for at that time. When you have a higher level of thinking with a certain level of tools that you have, it's this in this. Sorry, there's a loss of connection there. There's a marvelous level of use for internet, and then we already know that. So, once again, the other tech. Precursor engineering. That's what I was really talking about. Sorry. I should apologize, actually. I should apologize, because I really digressed for a long time. What's really exciting is replicators, which was what I talked about. Some of the advanced civilizations have, which is seen with spaceships, basically. A lot of replicators, it's creating something out of nothing. But it's not creating something out of nothing, of course. It comes from somewhere. You're basically taking those atoms in space and then making it into something. So, you can create refrigerators, you can create a house, you can create a car if you want to. You can create whatever you want from a replicator, and it replicates however many you want to make. I know there's some that are really big, and they can make larger things. That's a really, really awesome thing. And what that does is that, as I talked about abundance, that pretty much removes scarcity. Scarcity is no longer like a thing, and now we can just be self-sufficient fully. We should be self-sufficient. But once again, I'm not going to use the previous example anymore. I'm going to try not to, but, previously anyway, I'm digressing. What I mean to say is, I want to get to the wonderful, amazing point, which is the fact that, like, the uses of this, and of course the positive solutions and the impact, would be tremendously beneficial to humanity as a whole. And we can be. Oh, it's a wonderful transition. So I'm very, very excited, of course, and I'm looking forward to doing all these wonderful things. I mean, it's already happening now, but of course, I'm very, very grateful, very, at the same time, very dedicated. So, this is your host, Christopher Bowen. This is only the beginning. I'd love to say, but I mean, I'm committed. I'm very courageous, and it's an honor to do this. This is not about me necessarily. It's about you. It's about us. It's about America. It's about making America great again. It's about supporting freedom and democracy, of course, and the U.S. Constitution. It's about all these great things that make us great, and it's an honor to continue working with you guys, and I'm going to continue. This does not stop here, of course. This is epic. I mean, seriously, seriously epic. So, this is the live edition called Life, Liberty, and Pursuit of Happiness. That's the main description. And I bid thee all a wonderful, great, fantastic day and fantastic evening. Cheers. You guys are awesome. All of you are.